to record. Okay, I started. Thank you, Albert. You need to remind me, okay? Sometimes I cannot really pay attention to the chat message. So just raise your hand and tell me it's okay, okay? Don't be shy. It's really important. Okay, let me show you it again. Okay, another question is then, what is the difference between participle and 1C as the prefix form? As you can see that it takes O here. And then the second one is A. Let's go down to participle, O, and E. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So now then let's go back to our PowerPoint again. Then look at it. So now we have O and A. So what is it then? Is it participle or prefix form?
Prefix form.
Prefix form. Okay, so this one is 1C
1C.
prefix form.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have another question. You did a good job. But okay, let's just open this one to the student first. Okay, you are done. So have you done your final translation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then okay. Anyone else? Anyone want to ask question? Any clarification question? Any comments? Okay, Chikara.
Yes. I feel a little bit strange with the translation of halak. It actually it attached with like pronominal suffix. It says like I translated it and you go for yourself like that, but actually it's really strange. Like usually it's like if the how to say if it attached with if the word attached with halak, usually it's the place or some person that the person go to the place. I mean, how can I explain? But
I know you
yeah.
what you're saying. So Chikara is trying to say that the combination of halak and laka is quite strange because we are expecting the direction after halak. So halak means walk. So walk to somewhere. So that is our expectation that why is that we have a lakak and then the translation is and walk yourself.
So
Can you answer this question, Phineas?
To walk to you. To walk to you. Well.
Yeah, I think it's hard to answer because it simply depends on what is it that the usage of Hebrew expression. So now we are not really exposed to any examples where those expression was used, but it's not really rare or it's not really something strange. Simply, we are not really exposed to any case like this before. But that's why we need to pay attention to syntactical issues. Now, it's good that we are aware of this basic usage of words and verbs, but it doesn't really guarantee that we will be able to have a smooth and really good translation. So we need to understand some other issues in terms of syntactical issues. Perhaps it has something to do with a idiomatic expression, or this is what you are going to do as your assignment for next class. So you will be able to see why and where you could see those expression. Okay, apart from Genesis chapter 22. So then it'll help you to expand your horizon. Okay, so now anyway, we are going to just focus on the literal translation right now. But you're right, Kara, that's a little bit strange in terms of English and modern language. But in Hebrew mindset, I think it's okay. So now literal translation as it is just acceptable right now. Okay, but just bear in mind. Okay, the question will be dealt with next class in the next class. Okay. So then, anyone else? Any question? Okay. Then another question for you, Phineas. Sorry, a lot of question. I think verse 2 has a lot actually. You said this one is also what is it? Imperative, right? Why?
Yes, sir. Halak. Okay. Halak.
What is the indicator of imperative for halak? Just let me know the indicator.
Halak.
Okay, halak. Can you find first the case of first he verb in your verb chart?
Sir. First,
No. Then where can you find this one? Halak. You need to see, okay, like a lakak, we could see that, okay, lakak is a kind of a special case, and halak, you remember, wants to be
non-verb. First non-verb.
Do you remember the sad story that, halak going through identity crisis, being halak? It wants to be what? Not halak, yalak. Do you remember? So halak just wants to take first yod vav. So follows the general pattern of first yod vav. So in order for you to understand why the first yod is dropped off, you need to see first yod vav, in your verb chart. If you go to your verb chart again for first yod vav, bent, you will see. Let me show. Page 436. First yod vav. Now you can see that, okay, look at Carl. So everything is there. But if you look at imperative form, and you can see that the first yod is gone. You can see it. So the fact that the first yod vav is not there means, oh, this one must be imperative form. Can you see that?
Yes.
But it's at the vowel point, we have tere, but it still has s sound. This is a bit little strange because what we have is not tere, but sego. Can you see it? And you need to understand why. Because it is attached to this makev, lek, and then it affects the sound system. So it's possible that we have a little variation there. But anyway, the idea of dropping off the yod is still working there. Okay? So you need to recall the previous lesson of Hebrew 1 and 2. Now, do you understand? Okay?
Yes, sir, yeah.
Halak wants to be yalak. And then when the first yod vav is gone, then it significantly implies the idea of imperative. Okay?
Yes, sir.
If you don't have any question, then let's move on. Okay. But I have one more question. Okay. Let's look at where are you? Yes, you said this is he feel.
Yes, sir.
Because of ha.
Yes, sir.
Right. You did a good job. And pata.
Yes, sir.
And the reason why we have pata is because of this first guttural. So you need to also pay attention to together with he. Why not he? Because it's he feel, then we are expecting preformative he in the beginning. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, why is it pata? Because the first guttural affects the pronunciation. So if you go to first aleph or first guttural birth chart, then you will see it. So you need to be aware of this one too, okay? As an indicator of heat field. And another question is, what is the function of who?
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 This is Allah, okay? Allah, which means Allah means go up. So in the Hebrew stem, bring someone up or cause someone to go up. All right? So it is attached to a pronominal suffix, meaning 3MSG. So now it's not shuret, but together with the he, who is the verbal suffix 3MSG. Now, where do you need to look at then? Your textbook page 182. Your textbook 182. If you look at number 38.7a, the A, and it says extra grammar, then it includes all the information of verb suffixes. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So there, for 3MSG verb suffixes, we have who, o, and the. So you need to remember this too, okay? And we have alternative form too. So do you remember this lesson? I think you go back to lesson 38 and then make sure that you understand all kinds of verb suffixes. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's move on. Then verse 3. Let's move a little fast. Then Amos.
Yes, sir. Okay. Vashechem, Avraham, Baboker, Vayachavosh, Et Hamoro, Vaikach, Et Shanei, Sha'ara, Naaraiv, Ito, Va'et, Yitzchak, Bano, Vayabaka, Aye, Ola, Vayakam, Vayelek, El, Hamakom, Asher, Amar, Lo, Ha Elohim. Okay,
Good
so
job. I know that you know this word, but it's not ayin, but you need to pay attention to it. It's atze.
Atse, yes,
Right.
thank
Okay.
you.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Amos.
so the analysis of verbs. So the first one, via shekem. This is a verb, like the root is shin kaf mem, pl stem. This is prefix. Three masculine singular, verb conversive, meaning he rose up early.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Then the next one, the next line, via chavo. Can you please move your cursor, please?
Okay. Sorry, I was. Okay. This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Via chavosh. So this is also a verb. Het, bet, shin. This is cow stem. Three masculine singular, prefix, verb conversive. This is meaning he bound. He bound. Okay, next.
Anyway, let's move on. Okay.
Okay, this the end of the line, vayekach. So this is lamek kaf het. This is still prefix cow, three masculine singular, prefix. This is verb conversive, meaning and he took. Okay,
Good.
and hold on. Next. Uh, the fourth line.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth line, the last word, via car. So this is bed car, bed cough iron. So this is this looks like PL. Looks like PL. Prefix, three masculine and singular, three masculine singular, meaning to cut to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
To cut, he cut, sorry, no, he cut to pieces, and he cut to
Okay.
pieces. Okay, and next line, please. Next line, the third word, Viacom. So this is cough, whole and verb, mem. So prefix, three masculine singular, verb conversive, and he arose. And the next, Vayelek. This is he lame kaf. So this is still prefix and three masculine singular, verb conversive, meaning and he went. And next, so that's the second line from the last. So this is this like complex word, the middle part, aleph mem resh. It is a word. It is affix cow, three masculine singular. So the it has like the asher as the earlier part, and lamed lo as the prepositional phrase. This is which he said to him.
Okay. Good job. So what is your final translation then?
Translation. And Abraham rose early in the morning, and he bound his donkeys, and he took two of his like boys or servants to him, and he took Isaac his son, and he cut to pieces the wood for sacrifice or burnt offering, and he arose and he went to the place which God told him. God said to him.
Good job. I think our students have some objections or any comments. Anyone else want to say anything?
Amos,
Yes.
the very first verb, what is the stem for that one?
Can you please repeat? I couldn't hear clearly.
What
Brother
is the
Amos,
stem?
what is the stem of the very first verb?
Very first word?
Yes, yes.
It means to cut to pieces. So the first, sentence is Abraham. Sorry. It means to rose early in the morning. So Abraham.
No. My question is, what
Stem,
is the
stem.
stem?
Stem, PL.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
I
it
vote.
he feel?
PL.
PL?
PL.
Okay. Now, good point. Right. I know that Amos was tempted to put the PS stem because of the presence of Dagesh. Okay, but one tip that I can give you is this. If you have Shua, the preceding Shua, just before Dagesh, then you also need to stop and thinking, oh, is it because of the PS stem? Or one syllable is just ended, and then new syllable is just the beginning here. That's why Begad capital letter needs to take Dagesh in the beginning. So in this case, it's not PL Dagesh. but dagesh lene for begad kepat letter. So one syllable is just done here. Okay, so this one is not functioning as dagesh forte for PS stem. So the next question is, why do we have pata under the prefix pronoun? I think this is an important indicator that we need to remember actually in Hebrew too. So it's not usual for us to have pata under the prefix pronoun because the ordinary and the most expected vowel pointing under the prefix pronoun is not pata. When we have pata, then what does it mean?
You feel?
Yes. So when you have pata under the prefix pronoun, then you need to start thinking about the possibility of the hyphen stem. Like here, we have another hyphen, okay, under the prefix pronoun, but you gotta be really careful. In case of first guttural verb, it can also take pata. So you need to be really careful. Okay, the fact that you can see pata under the prefix pronoun simply means the hyphen stem. No, it doesn't really work that way. In this case, it's not hyphen because this first guttural takes pata under the prefix pronoun. So in order for you to be sure, you need to go to your verb chart and go to first guttural and look at prefix form. Then you will see that pata even can come for PS stem. But generally speaking, if you see the pata under the prefix pronoun, then it's always a good start to see the possibility of the hyphen stem. Is that clear? So now this one is a hyphen and this one is the PL. Do you see the difference between them? Can you see it? Let me just show you then my verb chart. Okay, let's go to our verb chart. It's really important and a good review of what we studied before. Let's go to the strong verb and look at hyphen. Okay, go to hyphen, page 433. You have a hyphen stem here. So as you can see, that for the affix form, it comes with preformative he together with hirak. So it's he. But what about prefix form? As you can see that he is not existing anymore, but it's it's affecting the vowel system of under the prefix pronoun. So now you have what? Pata. Can you see that? And we have hirek yod between the second and third. The question is, Pastor, we cannot see the hirek yod. And what happened? You go down to the bottom, and this one indicates the case for the prefix hyphen attached to verb conversive. Then you can see that the hirek yod is dropped off, and then you should have one or two or three dot. Do you remember that one? One dot or two dot or three dot when the hirek yod is gone. So verb conversive and pata. So now can you see that? So now you need to understand when you see pata under the prefix pronoun, you need to think about this hyphen stem. And let's go to the first guttural. Now, look at this. This is first guttural, and then look at prefix form. As you can see that it's not only hyphen prefix form, but kal prefix first guttural can take pata under the prefix form. Can you see that? So the fact that you can see pata under the prefix pronoun has two possibilities. If you are dealing with a first guttural, then it can be kal, okay? But if that is not a first guttural verb, then you need to start thinking about the hyphen possibility. Is that clear? Okay, can you move on? Amos, is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good job. You guys did your best. I know. If you really consulted, the master of the masters, Bible works, and I know that you could get the right answer. But I'm really happy for your wrong answer, which means a lot because you did it by yourself. Okay, so that's it. Anything else? And you're right. When Amos, you're right. When you analyze this baka as a peer stem, because looking at this dagesh and look at the preceding vowel point, it's not sure. Then that's for sure. This one is not dagesh rene, but dagesh forte. In this case, that's quite obvious. Then that should be the peer stem. Okay. Thank you. And anyone else? Anything? Any objection or any comments from other students? All right, let's move on. We are moving very slowly, but I believe we'll be able to speed it up. But since we just started this grammatical part, and I want to make sure that we remember those things, and that it's going to be a good review.
Amen.
Okay. Let's look at verse 4. Pierce.
ביום השלישי וישע אברהם את עיניו וירא את המקום מרחוק.
Okay, you did a good job. Just a minor comment. All right, I think this is a really proper time for us to pay attention to those. Right, so it's not shin, it's sin, and at the same time you need to double it because this is dagesh forte. So it is ba I sa. All right, not isha, but together doubling of sin, you better say ba itsa because it's doubled. Can you see that? So then that will be a really good one. And apart from it, you did a good job. Okay, let's analyze the verbs.
So first, last word on the first line, nasa. Yeah, that one. Nun sin aleph, stem kal, prefix 3 MSG, special feature vav conversive, meaning and he lifted up. And then where's the next one? Find it. It's ra'a by the looks of it. Oh yeah, third line. Yeah, that one. Ra'a, resh, aleph, hey, stem, hifil, prefix, 3 MSG, special feature, vav, conversive, meaning, and he caused to see. I think.
All right. So what is your then final translation?
And on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and he caused to see the place from far away.
Okay, right. Anyone else want to say something here? Any objection or comments? How do you think?
I think I can remember struggling with this one in the translation. It didn't seem like the translated sense, but when I was analysing it, Hifil seemed most likely. I think it was like a process of elimination, if I remember.
Pierce, you did a good job. Actually, in terms of the appearance, there is no difference between the Hifil stem and the ka stem for this double weak verb. ra'a, which means this one could be understood as the Hebrew stem and the ka stem in terms of the appearance. So do you remember this double weak verb? In case of double weak verb, there is no difference between the ka stem and the Hebrew stem. So if you are dealing with a double weak verb, then you always need to be careful. So now, as I said, the fact that you have pata under the prefix pronoun means something special. It's quite unusual. Of course, at the same time, because if we really look at the missing letter rule, we have, after removing non-root letters, like in the beginning, vav and yod, we have only two remaining consonant, isn't it? Right? So in this case, we need to apply our missing letter rule. So then what do we need to do? We need to look at what kind of vowel point we have under the prefix pronoun. So we have pata. So if we have any kind of vowel point other than tsere and kamet, then it means the third he verb. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay, in
Yeah.
this case, this pata under the prefix pronoun means ka stem as it is, okay, as a missing letter rule. But at the same time, it can be hip-feel stem. So there is no big difference between ka and hip-feel for double weak verb. So we need to remember this. Okay, then the question is, what do you prefer between ka and hip-feel? Okay, when you felt like, oh, this one must be hip-feel because of pata under the prefix pronoun. Now, understanding these two possibilities, then probably you may change your mind to go for the ka stem, because we cannot really see from the context the causative meaning. So in fact, I don't want to really say, Pierce, you're totally wrong. If you can say this one should be used in the sense of the Hebrew stem based on some clue, you will be really an out Hebrew scholar already. Go for it and write them. Good.
I remember thinking when I did it and I put Hifil and then I did the translation and I put and he caused to see the place. I'm thinking that doesn't make sense. But then I thought, is it talking about God? Did God cause him to see the place from afar? That's what I was like thinking.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a huge different translation, and it will bring theological discussion, argument. Well,
God doesn't
that's
appear
why.
in the verse, but it
Yeah,
crossed my mind.
right. Yeah. That's why I like Hebrew language. The flexibility allows us to see much room for freedom. But of course, if you are going against the traditional interpretation, it's your call, and you need to prove it by providing a lot of clues and evidence. But anyway, I don't want to say that's totally wrong. As I said, it clearly shows two possibilities in terms of the appearance. So I will accept either the Hifil and then the constant. But based on the flow of the context, it's most likely it supports the case of constant, because you can see that the main actor is actually Abraham. Okay, so then the question is, Abraham is calling someone to see. It's not really, it doesn't really make sense. But anyway, this is a syntactical issue in a sense. So now you're becoming Hebrew scholar. I'm glad to see that. Okay, let's move on. Do you have any comments or question here? All right. Have you read the material that I posted on the Moodle? It is called Bolt and Nuts, right? About the general understanding of syntactical issues. Let me show you something. I didn't bring it. Actually, that is a summary of our textbook. Do you remember these books? Biblical Hebrew Syntax. So this one is written by Bruce K. Walk and M. O'Connor. So when you see WC, or WO, then it refers to this textbook. So it's dealing with a lot of advanced grammatical aspects. And it's just like Bible in terms of syntactical issues. This one called News. It's very old book. And this one provides also very important grammatical aspect. And one more thing is this Brauka, a grammar of biblical Hebrew. So these three books are all included in your works 8. Praise the Lord. That's why I told you to download Bible Works. Some of you ask me if I can use other biblical software, like what is it? What kind of Bible? I mean, what is it? Bible? I forgot about it.
Logos, you mean?
Logos.
Yes, Logos. It provides a general analysis of all the verbs and the meaning of the verbs and words. But what I really need is those 3 textbooks. So if you can buy these 3 textbooks, that's okay for you to use other biblical software. But unfortunately, these are really expensive. Then I think you can simply buy this Bible Works 10 or 8. But I know that the company doesn't work anymore. But it's good that you can still find file. I know I'm a bit careful with this copyright issue, but when the company is on the business, then that is really obvious. We cannot do it. But somehow the business is closed, and you can still get the access to the file. Then I think it's just okay. You are not selling it, or you're using it for your own sake. But anyway, why am I telling you about those things? For your assignment, and it is due by Thursday. So you need to deal with this same passage, Genesis chapter 22, to talk about all those important syntactical issues. So when I ask you to read the material, the soft copy of one textbook, that is a summary of those 3. It provides a general idea of how grammatical aspects are supposed to be working. So probably if you finish reading the part, then you could realize that, then perfect doesn't simply mean an action in the past. Okay? And then you realize that singular form should be always a singular. Plural form should be always a plural. It deals with in other cases that is somehow beyond the knowledge that we have right now. So it's so much important for you to understand the other possibilities. So for example, talking about mera kok here, that is adjective. But if you pay attention to the usage of the adjective form, you will realize that it's not really adjective. What is it? Actually, me is from, lakok means distance. So actually, lakok is an adjective, meaning distance, but it's not noun, but it's adjective. So then the translation is, he saw ha makom, the place from distance. So now you can see that this adjective is used as a noun. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now, if you read the summary of these 3 textbooks, which is written in the material that I post, the bolts and nuts, it deals with the issue too. Adjective can be used as a noun sometimes. So now it opens our knowledge. Can you see that? Okay, so then it's really important for you to understand all those syntactical issues again, and I will just explain how to do your assignment for Thursday, by the way. Okay, let me move on to verse 5. Okay, do you have any comments? No? Then let's move on to verse 5. Okay, and Sharon, it's your turn.
바요메르 아베라함 엘 레아라이브 셰브 라켐 포 임하아 하모르 아아니 베아나아르 네렐카 아드 코 베니셰 하아베 베나슈바 알레이켐.
Okay, just one comment. I think there is no distinction between silent schwa and vocal schwa. So you need to really pay attention to the difference between them, and also the difference between he and het. So here it's a he, it's a he. So it's not ha more. It's ha more. Okay, you need to spit. Okay, so yeah, ha more. Okay, good job. Let's move on to analyze the verbs.
예, first line 바요메르 알렘 맴 레시 칼스템 프리픽스 3MSG 바브 컨버시브 and he said.
Good.
예. 예, second line, the last. 예. 요드 신 벳 칼 임페라티브 2MPL 스페셜 피처 라메드 프리포지션 and cam 2MPL suffix. So the meaning,
yeah, go ahead. Good job.
Meaning, sit to you, stay here, yeah, and
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and the fourth line, second word, 할락, 해, 라메드, 카프, 칼, stem, qualitative form, and first common plural, and special feature none. The meaning will go.
Okay.
And then another. Yeah, the next sentence first. Yeah, second word. 해, 바보, 해. 히스타펠 prefix 1CPL special feature verb conjunction and we will bow down.
So what is the stem?
Prefix stem. 히스타펠.
What are you talking about? You're talking about this one or this one?
Just a moment. Yeah. First word.
Okay, yeah. So you are talking about kava and justapel.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And the next word, 슈브,
Mm-hmm,
신, 슈렉, 배트,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
칼, 스템, 프리픽스 폼, 원시, SC, 바브 컨정션, and we will return.
Okay, good job. Anyone else? Is there anyone who want to point out something that Sharon missed, or any question?
Halak.
Halak,
Yeah, form of halak.
here.
What did you say the form was, Sharon?
폼,
For halak?
코홀테이티브,
Okay. I've got it in prefix.
프리픽스,
Is that wrong? With a hey directive on the end as a special feature.
Okay.
I agree with Sharon because of the noon in the front.
Okay, Albert, could you speak loudly and clearly?
Professor, I agree with Sharon because of the noon in the front.
Okay. Why do you think? Okay, even Pierce can be right, pointing out that noon can be prefix form. So then noon itself doesn't really, provide concrete evidence for causative, because causative can take noon at the same time, and prefix form can take noon in the beginning. Okay.
Oh, it's missing something. It's a na at the end. Cohortative.
Yeah. In case of causative, it quite often comes with another important indicator, which is na. So when you have na, then that's quite straightforward. So particle na indicates the presence of causative, but here you have important clue. Actually, as noticed by Brother Pierce, even a he ending quite special indicator. He said it's directive he, but directive he can be only attached to a noun, right? 에레짜. So eret comes with ahe, then it refers to the direction toward the mountain or the land, right? So in this case, ahe is attached to the main verb, which is strange to be directive he. So you're right. Ahe is a quite special indicator for cohortative. So the special feature must be cohortative he. If you don't remember this, let's just look at the lesson 41. Lesson 41 deals with cohortative. So if you are curious about it, if you don't remember those things, go to lesson 41, then you will be able to see two things there. Okay, first of all, cohortative is for the first person, okay, either singular or plural. So it comes with aleph or nun in the beginning as the prefix pronoun. So we have nun, which is plural, and plus, as pointed out Albert, if you have na, then that's a really good sign. But unfortunately, we don't have na, but still, a, he ending is such an important indicator of cohortative. So it is called cohortative. So Sharon, you're right. So it is cohortative. And also, look at this, shuv. One more time, it comes with noon and ahe ending, which is another cohortative. So when it comes to the indication of cohortative, we normally use the phrase of let me or let us, all right? May I, may we. But if you look at the English translations, they don't choose that interpretation. Instead, it said, we will. Am I right? This one also has something to do with the syntax. So this is what you need to do for next class, okay? But anyway, in terms of literal translation, based on what we have studied, you can say let me or let us. You don't see any reason for the phrase of we will yet, because it's not really, what is it, what we have studied before, right? Do you have any question here? I think there are several things that I want to emphasize here. Okay, this one, na'ar. So means servant, but what servant? Eve. So this is type 2. So what is the function of type 2 suffix? It makes the preceding noun plural. Do you remember? So that is significant. You need to put this one as plural. So his servant. All right. And then Sharon, I think this is a part of our former discussion. Why do you think this is imperative?
Because of Shewa.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you said this one is Yashab. And where is Yod?
The drop.
It's
Because
dropped?
Yod, first Yod verb.
Uh-huh. So what is the indicator of imperative form here? The most important indicator of imperative form?
First
You said
Yod, first
yes.
Yod is dropping.
Great, right. So the fact that we cannot see the yod means the possibility of imperative form, and plus u ending. So nothing, u, na. Do you remember? So it's a really good combination. So you're right. So this one is yashab and imperative form. And what else? Okay, I think in verse 5, we need to really understand the indicators of causative, okay? So it's good that we are dealing with a lot of important grammatical aspect, and causative is quite important. And what else? I think that's it. Before I finish the lesson, we just cover 5 verses. That's just amazing. But it's okay. Don't worry. We'll be able to deal with everything. Okay, let me show you something here. Where is Brother Pierce? I think he needs to listen to this. Okay, you have one assignment due on Thursday this week. So again, you need to submit the assignment before the Thursday class. Okay. So now I'm going to show you Bible Works. Look at this. You will move one by one. I briefly mentioned about this. Go to verse 1 and you need to scan everything. So on the right side, you have resources. So click on resources and you are supposed to have this on the right side. Okay, the purple, pink, and green, all those boxes. Now, going to Genesis chapter 22, verse 1, place the cursor on each word, and you will see on the right side, the information changes. Can you see that? So make sure if you are dealing with the word haya, then you know that the word haya means become or be. Okay, that is a very general idea. So you have to deal with the 2 things here. Number 1, word studies. Number 2, syntax. So when I talk about word study, then you need to look at this BDB. Brown, driver, brakes. And at the same time, we have HOL, Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon, and we have TWOT, which is Harris. Those three dictionaries provide important information of word usage. So if you look at haya, then you need to go for the meaning of haya. Then on the right side, you have what? Haya here. Can you see that? And what is it really important is the reference. If you don't have a reference, then you don't need to look at it. So click on it. And if you click on haya with that reference, it starts from the first part of the meaning, haya, in the lexicon, which means you need to look at all those meanings. So now you can see different meanings of haya. So the general meaning is pour out, come to pass, become, be. And then number one, pour out or happen. And then 1 Samuel 4:16 is an example for the usage. Go down, number two, it means come about, come to pass. Can you see that? They carried similar meaning. So I don't want you to include everything, but if you could see anything significant in terms of difference, then I want you to specify it. And if you think, okay, the English version normally translated as it came to pass, or it came, and what is it? Well, it happened. If you prefer to use another meaning based on this information provided by these lexicons, then you need to put it. Do you understand? So instead of relying on the traditional word choice in terms of meaning, I want you to go deeper to see if there is other possibility of another word or another interpretation. Do you understand? So there will be a lot of words. So if you don't see any significant issue there, you don't need to include it. So whenever you see, just go and quickly and check if you see any other significant words. If I'm talking about BDB, haya, then it provides a specific passage, Genesis chapter 22:1, and then it is a spiritual reference to explain about the meaning of haya. And click on the reference, then you will lead you the specific parts with the highlighted word. So you can see that now, Genesis chapter 22:1. Okay, in BDB. So now you need to move slightly up and see how this word is used. And it says, you need to go and see now, it's quite a lot. BDB provides a lot of information. It provides, as here, let's go higher. Okay, here, number one, it falls under number 1A, fall out or happen. Okay, and then number two, came about or come to pass. So now you can see that this one is still under number two. Can you see number three? So this one belongs to number two. So then you can see that, oh, okay, haya has the meaning of come to pass. That's how BDB interpret the words. Okay, can you see that? If you go down, you can see even other meaning. Here, come into being or become. Can you see? Of course, BDB doesn't use the specific reference of Genesis chapter 22, verse 1 to explain the meaning of come into being. So in that sense, what BDB supports is not being or becoming, but instead it came to pass. So in that case, you say BDB supports the idea. And what about the holiday? a Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon, as you can see that the reference doesn't provide the meaning, only haya as a general, which means if you click on this, then the word haya, the meaning of haya, is just provide. Number one, become, take place, happen, be, become. It's more simplified version. Serve as, have, okay? So then looking at this, you figure it out, okay, it has other meanings. Then you just see, okay, this words can be, what is it? Translated differently, then based on holiday lexicon, I prefer this one. Okay, you can say that. And Harris, you have no reference, but Haya, then it provides a general meaning. And this one is more theological explanation. But anyway, look at it and try to see any significant information about the word usage. Any question regarding this word study? And most importantly, when it comes to the syntax, you need to place your cursor on verse 1 and move on to the pink. And you don't need to robusten grammar of the Greek New Test. You don't need to look at it. You just look at Jessenius and Jurn Murauka and Walt Ocon, only 3. Looking at Jessenius, I don't want you to look at everything here, because if you don't have reference, it provides just general information about this conjunction, the verbs and the poor stem or kal. If you are curious about it, just click on it and get some idea. But what you need to do is the reference. So now 107 in the book of Genesis, News, it deals with the use of the imperfect. Okay, it gives us the information about imperfect, but do not look at scripture index. Okay, scripture index, just disregard, ignore it. And we have only 2. Okay, and click on it, go to the part, and you will see that somewhere Genesis chapter 22 verse 1, and this, the color is slightly different. Can you see that? So you need to move a little bit high and understand what it means by this. And then the explanation is here. The introduction of independent narratives or of a new section of the narrative by means of an imperfect conjugative, likewise aims at a connection, though again loose and external, with that which has been narrated previously. Such a connection is especially often established by means of vayehi, and it came to pass. So now it gives us the idea that, okay, vayehi, this imperfect conjugative means, imperfect means prefix form, conjugative means verb combination. So this verb combination with the prefix form of haya means what? It came to pass. After which there then follows either most commonly an imperfect conjugative. So now you can see that this is the explanation. So now in terms of the interpretation of he in the beginning, especially in relation to this prefix form with the verb conversive, can be used to start the narrative saying it came to pass. Can you see that? So I don't want you to cut and paste. You need to understand the explanation and put those explanation with your own words. Do you understand? Okay. So you need to include whatever is appearing from Jessenius, Murauka, and Walt O'Connor. Do you understand? The word study is not really that important, but make sure the syntax is the most important assignment. So you need to include everything. Okay, but look at this Murauka. Don't be scared. If you look at Murauka, you cannot see reference. That you don't need to deal with it here. Okay, and move on. Word Okano. It has no reference. Then you have only two references in Genesis in verse 1. Can you see that? Move on to verse 2. Put the cursor on it, and you will see on the right side the pink color. Okay, we have more. Genesis deals with three references, but I told you scripture index doesn't need to be included. So you have two. And Muraoka deals with how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 references. And you need to deal with it. Okay? And then what Okono deals with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Index of scripture is here again. Then you don't need to look at it. The last one. Let me click on one thing. Okay. It deals with numerals and references here. Then you can see. Click on it. It doesn't show you. It doesn't show you. But anyway, just give me 1 minute. I need to really show you this. Can you see this? I click on it. Let me click on it again. Then you will see it. So now go down to Jesse News and then let's click on Word Okano and numerals. Click on it and then it'll just have one pop-up and you have Genesis chapter 22 verse 2 as reference. So now you can see that, okay, this one has something with the substantive use of ekat or ekat, chiefly involve construct phrase. The number word may precede a plural noun. So it is the case of number 18 and verse number 20. So 18, 19, 20 has something to do with this. The number word may precede the plural noun. So this one is about explanation of ekat. Okay, so you need to include this and then put your own understanding with your own words. Do you understand? I think it's going to be a lot of work. So let me just change my mind. I want to give you just the syntactical issues as your assignment. You don't need to go for word study. Okay, just to do the syntactical issues. Is that clear? Okay, and move on to, so whatever is appearing here, then you need to include them all. Verse 3, just last one. Do we have Murauka? Okay, let's go to Muraukas. And Hifil conjugation here. Let's look at verse 3 and Hifil conjugation. It's an explanation about the usage of Hifil. Then you must learn something important here. Where is it? Genesis. Okay, here. So it normally directs you to the specific passage. Now you can see that it has something with footnote 8. Then you need to go to footnote 8, where it is. Where is it? Here. Then you need to start from this and understand 8. And why do we have 8 here? So you need to understand it. In the beginning, it's a bit hard. I know that it's not really that simple, but you spend time and try to understand why and what is written there. Do you have any question? Do you have any question regarding your assignment? Okay, let me summarize. Once again, you may find this really, a heavy or overwhelming assignment. But let me tell you, we need to deal with this together with the analysis of all the verbs of a new chapter every day, which means you need to analyze one chapter and also you need to do this syntactical analysis. And when you run the textual criticism, it's accumulation, and we need to analyze all the verbs and words in a chapter, and we need to deal with the syntactical issues, and plus we need to deal with textual criticism. So we need to deal with the three things for 1 day class. So now I need to really let you know that it's not really relatively overwhelming. Okay, so don't complain and learn something from your assignment. Actually, this is really important, syntactical issues, because whatever you are going to see from the textbook of syntaxes will be something you have not really covered so far. So you need to learn how to use these textbooks. Okay. So I think you will have some questions, but I will understand that the first assignment will be somehow not really perfect, but do your best. Do you have any question?
Is that the
No?
whole chapter? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Every verse. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Then gonna see you on Thursday. Oh, by the way, no, that's enough. Okay, so that's just have a great day and see you on Thursday.
Please, Professor,
Bye.
one
Bless
more
you.
thing.
Okay.
For the recording, can you please let the IT guys know to upload to the YouTube?
Oh yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for the
Thank you.
reminder. I will ask them to do it. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yep.